Hi guys, welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how to sew this lovely dress. I've done a video on how to cut it, so if this is what you like to see, stay tuned to the end of this video. So like I said, I've done the video on the cutting, and I'll be dropping the link in the description box. So these are the patterns, and I've gone ahead to use them to cut the fabric and the lining. I have the front, the back, the sleeve, and then the waist to knee, and then the down part from the knee to the full length will be gathers. Okay, so we're just going to cut a straight fabric and gather it for that effect. Now if you don't know how to sew a princess dart, watch this very part carefully. All right, so I've pinned the center front and the side front together for one side, and then you make sure that you pin the bust point together and sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now when you are getting to the under bust part, although it is a princess dart, not a bustier, but I still notch the under bust part because from there it's curvy. You have to sew carefully, you have to sew gently, and make sure that the two fabric, that's they are equal, not that one is now shorter than the other, and you make sure that you chalk exactly 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you sew carefully so that you can sew just once without having to lose it again. Now when you are reaching the bust area, from the bust area to the upper part, you have to keep smoothing out the fabric. Make sure that no side is folded, make sure that they are well laid out and they are equal. So I done that and I sew to the end, so you can see how it is. It's very smooth and neat. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the other side of the side front to the center front. So like I did for the front, you just, and the other side, just make sure that you sew carefully and gently until you reach the end. Okay, you sew from the waist down to the on the bust to the bust, and then to the armhole area. So you sew carefully along so that you can make sure you sew once and for all. Okay, once you have done this, you can see that it's fine. Even though it's just a dart, it's coming out so beautiful because of the bust dart effect that I used in the cotton video. So I've gone ahead to join the back the same way I did for the front, although no bust dart there. Okay, it's just a princess cut, and I did the same thing for the lining. So I joined the front and back shoulder together so that we can now sew our neckline. So we are going to place it open like this because we are trying to achieve a neat finish with this sewing. So this is also another way of learning how to have that perfect inseam finish if you can watch the end of this video. All right, so I'm going to sew around the neck like that with 1/2 inch, and I'll leave the zipper area. Okay, so now this is the from the waist to the knee area. I've cut it. Like I said, the video of the cutting, I'll be dropping it in the description box. So I pinned the center of the skirt area to the waist, and then I'm going to sew with 1/2 inch. I'll do the same thing for the lining and the back also. So I've done that. You can see how it is. The lining is joined to the lining, the fabric to the fabric, and then I did the same thing for the back fabric and lining. Then we're going to go ahead to shape it. Now when I'm shaping it, I'm placing the two fabrics, that's fabric front and back together, and I'll sew with 1.75, that's the seam allowance that I had when I was sewing. And then I'll be fixing a pocket. So I went down from the waist by like 1.5 inch, then I measure 6 inches for the pocket space, and then I continue to mark my seam allowance. So I'm going to sew the two sides, fabric to fabric, lining to lining, but I'll leave the pocket area on the fabric alone. I'm going to sew the lining all through. There won't be space. Okay, there will be opening there, but on the fabric there will be an opening. So I'll go ahead and sew it. Right now I've sewn it. You can see the opening for the pocket on the main fabric. Okay, and I don't have that on the lining, so that it's well covered. So we're going to go ahead and fix our zipper. Okay, so to fix the zipper, you're going to determine where the zip will end. Like I did, I left that place open because we're going to close it up with the fabric. So when you have determined where the zipper will stop, you're going to sew the down part. You close the down part first with the zipper allowance that you have used. I use 1.5. So I'm just checking where the zipper will stop. Then from that point straight down, I'm going to close it up before I fix the zipper. Okay, so I've gone ahead to pin the zip on it. I use 1.5 seam allowance, so I have to leave space of 1 inch before fixing the zipper. So I pin it. So I'm going to sew on the main fabric, then I'm going to close it up with the lining. That part on the neckline, I'll sew it completely to hold the edge of the zipper on the upper part. Then I'm going to sew the remaining part straight down on where I've fixed the zipper to cover it at the back side. So when you sew like that, it's going to hold your zipper in place. Okay, then you place the lining to make sure you sew probably on the main seam that you use, on the main stitch that you use in fixing the zipper, or very close to it, but not beyond it. Okay, so you're going to do that for both sides of the zipper area. Alright, so I've fixed the zipper, and this is how it looks on the inside. You can see how neat it is. Both front and back is neat. So next thing I'm going to do is to measure around the down part. Okay, so whatever I get, I think I got about 55. I'm going to multiply it by 2.5 or 3 inches. Then I cut a straight fabric using the length from that knee to the full length, that's the down length. Okay, and then I gathered it back to the measurement I had on the knee area. So I did not start the gathers exactly on the knee. I went up by like 4 or 5 inches. So to join this, okay, so I'm going to chalk 1 inch above, that's 1 inch on the fabric. Remember, on this main fabric I've already folded it down. I folded it down of the main fabric and have a neat finish there. Okay, I just folded it by half inch. So I'm going to mark 1 inch on the outside, and then it will guide me when I'm placing the gathers on the upper side. So I'm going to close the down part of the back and then sew it round. Alright, so I went ahead and cut a pocket for it, and I fixed it in. Okay, so I fixed it into the space that I've left for the pocket. By the time you finish fixing the pocket, the line is going to cover up everything. I made the wideness of the pocket to be 8 inches. Okay, so you're going to be fixing it 1 inch away from that opening and 1 inch after. Okay, because the wideness I left is just 6 inches. So I'll also drop a link to a video on how to fix a pocket for those that may not know how to do that. All right, so I've gone ahead to fix the sleeve, and I just did a straight stripe design on the sleeve to give it this look. If you have found this video helpful, please kindly give it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed, kindly do so. See you in my next video.